Hi, I'm Ross Callaghan and I've just finished making this model paddle steamer, the PS Pevensey. The original paddle steamer was made in 1911 on the Murray River just outside Echuca. It was used to carry hay bales from the farms up and down the Murray, taking them down to Echuca so that they could then be shipped to Melbourne and sold. Apparently it could cope with about 800 bales in the two holds. There's a hold at the front and then there's another one at the back there. And it also used to carry a barge behind it, or pull a barge, which would mean it could take a total of about 2,000 bales of hay to market. It was built in 1911 and it's now a tourist ship, and we've actually been for a ride on it in Echuca. This particular boat was renamed the Philadelphia during the mini-series All the Rivers Run. We watched that mini-series, and so we sort of have a lot of very lovely memories about this particular paddle steamer, and that's why we wanted to go for a ride on it, and that's why I wanted to make a model of it as well. So I thought I'd show you just a few of the steps that were involved in making this paddle steamer. I didn't have any plans at all. I had to make it from photographs that I found by Googling it, and that made it a lot harder than a typical kit. So the first thing I did was looked at lots and lots of photographs and tried to get some kind of scale. And the scale resulted in a plan like this. And I must say I had a couple of goes at it to try and get the scale right. I then built a frame, the backbone of the model, which goes all the way from front to back, and put a balsa wood deck on it. I started off assuming I would be making it out of balsa. This is balsa here, but the balsa is too soft, and so I ended up making most of the boat out of basswood. And so the deck was initially balsa, and then I put basswood on top. The glue that I used all the way was clear, just Yoo-hoo glue, quick drying. And so having got the basic keel and frame here and the deck, then put the sides on using the basswood, and then turned it over and made a simple base to the model. Then the next phase was to get some permafill, and using the permafill I made everything nice and smooth, and that gives, I think, using this gives a whole model a much more greater degree of quality, because everything's smooth. Then I used 3 colours of acrylic paint to paint it, in white, black, and this one which is burnt umber. And that was basically meant that the hull of the ship was created. Next I had to start thinking about the superstructure here, and I got bits of cardboard and made up mock pieces to try and work out both the sizes and what how they would fit in relation to each other. And then having got those right, then I used the basswood to actually create all of these little buildings and on the top here, and the things which house the paddles as well. Paddles themselves were quite complicated to do. I worked out a basic structure here, and then made the centre is of dowel, and then after that little pieces of balsa, and then painted it up and made it so that the paddles would go round. The last part was putting all of the little bits and pieces onto it, finicky, fiddly stuff. I couldn't make it totally authentic in terms of the rails here, because they're just they would be too small and too skinny, so I just used balsa all the way around. Put a working rudder onto it. The engine inside is an old train, a steam train that I cut back, and it now looks like a steam engine. And so it took probably about 2.5 months to make this model, and I'm really thrilled with it. It's come out really nice. I think there are very few models of this particular paddle steamer that I could find, and even fewer plans. And I think one of the most enjoyable bits of making this particular model has been to do it without plans, to have to create my own plans. So there you are, the paddle steamer Pevensey, or the Philadelphia from All the Rivers Run. It's been a real joy and a real pleasure making this thing, and I hope it will give a lot of pleasure to many people in days to come. So many have said to me, "Oh, when are you going to put it in the water?" Well, I can tell you now, it's not going in the water. This is a model for display, and I'm very proud of it. I think it's great. The PS Pevensey.